This is a special edition of Late Night Health. I'm Mark Allen. I'm really honored to spend some time with my friend Angel Ribo. He is known as the CEO Confidant. There is so much to this man. He is such a nice guy. He helps everyone. He'll probably help you. Angel, welcome to Late Night Health.
Thank you very much for having me in your show and obviously for your nice words. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Tell me, you got a sign back there. Give me a break 2020. How do we do that? I want a break right now. I want the old normal back.
Okay, it's very simple. You just have to help yourself to create it again. Which is easier said than done, right? But yes, so it was actually three weeks ago I started to post, and I posted this with different visuals, but I started to post online. As you know, I'm very active on LinkedIn because that's where my audience is. And I started to actually post Give Me a Break 2020, right? Because I definitely was listening to my audience, and everybody was saying the same thing. I wish. But it is what it is. It's what we have, and that's what we have to deal with. So I started to post this, Give Me a Break, and definitely let's say that a lot of people liked it when I did it. So in order to answer your question, let me tell you something. So the first thing is probably, why don't you start analyzing yourself? Where does this break need come from? Why do you need it? What are those things that are inside of you that make you think that you need the break? I'm not saying I don't have that need. And actually, I think that one of the main reasons why I was posting this so many times is because I personally am the first one needing a break. But what I would recommend, and I would have been recommending to my business partners and clients, is what is inside of you, which is actually shouting, like screaming, I need a break, I need a break. What's that thing? So what is that resistance being built? That's how I like to describe it. What is that resistance being built that you need to explode? I remember when I was in middle school, you probably remember that too, we were studying that concept of entropy, which is the level of disorder of a particular system. I think that the disorder in our systems has increased. How do we deal with that increasingly disorder in our lives is probably the same as the answer to why or how can we get a break.
Do you need a break? You're very active in general, and he's shaking his head. Yeah, I need a break. What do you need a break from?
So I have to tell you that I'm in denial, right? Because there's several people very close to me, they've told me I need a break, but I refuse to take it. And let me tell you why I refuse to take it. That happened to me also in 2009, interestingly enough, which was I was so proactively acting upon what I saw, the opportunities I saw in front of me, that I just couldn't stop. Literally, I just couldn't stop. Right now, since all this started, I'm growing my team, I'm growing my customer base, I'm growing so many things. And every single night I work, right now I'm working on 2 shifts for myself, but in 2 shifts. One is from 7 until 4 p.m. And the other one is from 7 p.m. until midnight, 1 a.m. every day. That's a true story, honestly. And I feel so energized. I feel so right? I feel so powerful, and I'm building so many things, and I'm training so many people on my own team, onboarding so many people that I feel so powerful. So I am completely in denial. To your question, people around me say, yes, Angel, you need a break. You need a break because, that's how much you can do. That's how much you can accomplish. You should take a break, right?
And
so that's the answer.
And with all that energy that you're expelling, working with people, your team, and all that, there's got to be a point where you fizzle out a little bit. So you got to relax a little bit, right? Go ahead.
There's sometimes, no, my apologies for interrupting you, but sometimes you really feel like you're super concerned, super worried, there's something bugging you, there's something in your mind. But right now, I'm not at that place. My mind and my energy is not or are not in that place. So, I don't know if it's what I eat, because I also do, late night, show. as yours, as related, health related. I do fasting. I change a few things in my diet. I have incorporated a few things in my diet, and it's very rare when I feel tired. Really, it's very rare.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really rare when I feel tired. And interestingly enough, I feel tired in between those shifts I told you. Some people might think this guy is crazy, but that's why I was excited to be on your show today, because when we are recording, it's exactly in between those two shifts. And but today I didn't feel it. I didn't feel tired at all between the shifts. So I was just, I said, wow, great. Actually, as you know, I was just looking for your email and getting the link, and let's do this. Let's do this no matter what.
Many questions pop into my head, and one is, how do you blend in family? You have kids,
Yeah, 3 kids,
3 kids, and their ages?
20, 12, and 10.
All right, the 20-year-old really says, "Dad, leave me alone." What about,
Totally.
right? That's, what about the, no, I'm teasing, but I guess you have to have family time, don't you?
I do have to have family time, and we have family time. Something very interesting that's happening nowadays, as you know, is that unfortunately the kids are not allowed to go to school.
Right.
So they have to do remote learning, okay? Which is this how to say this? It's a paraphrasetical way. I don't know what the right word would be in English. It's a way to paraphrase, right?
Okay.
Not going to school and not learning and not having the interaction with the rest of the kids or with the teachers. But so that means that actually my 12-year-old, he is having his remote learning on my office, in my office. I'm blessed to having a large office. So he's actually taking everything from the same office space I have here at my home. So actually we are becoming much more close thanks to this remote learning that they are supposed to get from their school. And the same with my daughter. My daughter doesn't share because she's more like, girls are more girls and want to be more with girls, and they have these things and they like, discussing the little chit chat among girls. She's not sharing a space with me, but obviously she spends a lot of time at home. So we see each other much more than before. In between shifts, we try to go have, dinner outside. We try to have some time together outside. And over the weekends, obviously, we spend a lot of time together. Again, we have really decreased the amount of activities we do outdoors for obvious reasons.
Right. Are you afraid that your kids, as they grow up, and they're spread out over, a couple of years there, from your 20-year-old down to your 12-year-old, that they're going to miss some kind of relationship? Look, kids, at 12 years old, your daughter goes to school, she hugs her best friend. Next week, she's got a new best friend, and she hugs that one. There's a tactile thing. When my wife and I, before COVID, would go out, we'd see, millennials sitting at dinner with their cell phone, and they're texting. I always want to know if they're texting each other, 2 feet away. But to me, they're missing stuff. When we go out, when we used to go out, we talk. And it's, even though Zoom and Skype and the other up and coming teleconferencing apps are important, and I live on Zoom, as I know you do. Aren't we missing something in that one-to-one approach?
Yeah, one thing is that we are missing something. Definitely the answer to your question, I would say from my point of view, is we are missing something. But at the same time, pre-COVID, right? March, the last time that, that the kids were allowed to go to school, right? So up until March, they were very active socially. So, there was nothing missing there. We've been now 5 months without, right? 5 months, or now it's going to be 6, with all this inability to go back to school, to the buildings. So I don't think that these 6 months have actually done, or in the long term, or even in the midterm, are going to do anything wrong to the kids. Because I don't think it's long enough. And actually, to the contrary, I believe that this time at home and realizing what's going on around them has given them the opportunity to think about things that they would have never thought had they stayed on a normal, way of doing things and going to school, and mom goes to work and dad goes to work. So I think that it's a great opportunity that the kids have lived. I guess this depends on every single home, right? But I think that the thoughts and the ideas and the discussions conversations that they have had with us, with the parents at home, I think it's really important. Number two, obviously they have still met with friends. I mean, there's been sleepovers, there's been, kids, they have gone to some other, kids, friends. And so there has been some social interaction. And right now, for instance, in Texas, they are talking about opening back schools. And yeah, I mean, we still have not decided.
Yeah, have you decided if you'd let your kids go back?
Yeah, I mean, when they asked us to decide back in June, we said yes. We want them to go full speed to school. But then, I mean, I regret to say this, but if you asked 1,000 people on Earth, if you were an extraterrestrial and you came to Earth and you asked 1,000 people what do they think of COVID, you will probably get 1,000 different responses, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So it's the exact same thing about going to school. It's the exact same thing. So you asked the other day, I am very active on the school district here, very active with the schools. I've been volunteer. I go to the board meetings, everything. Every time I ask the same question to different officials from the same school district, from different campuses, I get different responses every single time. Every single time. I'm going to give you an example.
Sure.
I'm going to give you an example to your question. I wanted to be part of a committee that was put in place before the school year started in August. And that committee met, and it was the counseling committee of the school district. It was part of that committee. And the school official disclosed with us, the 70 parents that were part of that committee, he disclosed how many parents had said, we want our kids to go to school. We want them to go to school regardless. We want our kids to go to school. We don't know what the restrictions are going to be. We want our kids. 85%, he said, and he was so like natural. He said, genuine. He said, I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know how we are going to bring, and that was in July, early July. I don't know how we're going to bring 85% of the kids back to school. I have no idea how that's going to work. Fast forward, the school district decides there's going to be no face-to-face in-person school.
Right.
Because the parents had actually voted, and they voted 50-50. So we decided not to do it. And then and then you read a newspaper, local newspaper, and then you read the exact same thing. 50% of parents said, yes, we want our kids to go to school. 50% said no. So this is just an example. And I'm talking to you about public servants, Mark, public servants. Okay, so there's this bubble of common, I'm not going to say consciousness, common knowledge, right, created by, organizations, by media of all kinds of media, right? So there's this bubble, and we all try to get information and to download information from that bubble. Okay, so oh my God, where do we live? What's the reality that we are living in, Mark?
There's one word that comes to mind, Angel, and that word is confusion. Right? Because we don't know. If my kids were of school age, I don't honestly know what I would do. And I really don't. I don't know if I would send them to school because it's scary, right? I have a friend whose wife was working. She came down with what she thought was a cold, got a test, took 3 days or 4 days to get that test back. She has COVID. He has, what does he do, right? How does he not help spread it? Somebody's got to go to the market. And it's hard to get delivery. Where here in Ventura County, California, where I live, I know that it can be difficult to get food picked up. And frankly, I don't know if I want somebody touching my tomatoes before I touch them. I mean, it's just honest. I think that what happens in a pandemic is that people, as I said, get confused. And at the same time, nobody knows what to do. To me, that's the scariest part. And I think what we have to do is what you teach. Angel and I have been in several different sessions together. And my understanding is you're teaching consciousness rather than confusion. And so in teaching consciousness, being open to people, being open to messages from the universe, God, I think that's important. And I think it may be especially important right now because we need that break. We do need that break.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we all need that break. There's confusion, and confusion is how to say this again. Besides posting on "Give Me a Break 2020," I also the most common subject matter I've posted about is building bridges. Right. When you are in the world of business, and I started in Europe, and I've been since then always working like business to business. When you work with business leaders, right, they have always been exposed to a lot of distraction, a lot of details, a lot of disorder, a lot of confusion, right? And how have they dealt with this? How did they deal with similar situations before this all started? And I think that the response never before is inside of them. You were explaining a specific situation and the challenges behind that situation, right? So my question is, what could we do all together? What can you, Mark, together with me and many other people, what can we do together to put an additional source of clarity in the lives and the minds of these people that are listening to us? What can we do?
I think clarity is a great word because we all need clarity. The way that different countries and the different governments are clarifying to their people. I still don't think the United States has clarified. There's too many. There's no. Here's what we're going to do. I was talking to somebody in Australia a few days ago, and apparently the PM, Prime Minister of Australia, has made the following statements. If and when a vaccine is developed for COVID-19, it will be given free to anybody who wants it. And I don't see that in the United States. I see Big Pharma saying, let's make some money. That's confusing to me, right?
Well, let me add something. Again, with all due respect to everybody, again, I think that it's funny because last night I was thinking about this chat with you today.
Right.
And I was thinking, there has to be, Mark picks the most extreme, no, just an example, okay? So you pick the most extreme pro-vaccine liberal, blah blah blah. You name it. You pick the adjectives, and I pick the most conservative, you know, person in the world, anti-vax, whatever, and I bring it to the table. You bring yours to the table. I bring that person to the table. You bring your person to the table, and our challenge is, how can we spend 1 hour together, all four of us, building bridges as opposed to criticizing each other and blaming each other for the opinion, for what's going on in the world? That would be adding clarity to this world.
It would, but can you get people to sit down like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that the challenge will be yours. I think that the challenge is not for you to find it. The challenge is, how can you and I be the mediators of that conversation so that we show the world that even at the very opposites, we can still build something together,
Right.
in order to generate clarity as opposed to uncertainty and confusion.
Yeah.
You know, so that was my thought, really. That's what I was thinking.
Our guest from the CEO is the CEO Confidant, not from the CEO Confidant. He works with CEOs all around the world, and he's sharing some insights today on what's going on in our crazy world. Angel and I met through at a workshop, several workshops at the EBC. We were in, were we in Oceanside and San Diego?
Yes.
Right?
Oceanside, yeah.
Oceanside and California. And it's been a couple of years. And we keep in touch, and then we lose touch, and now we're in touch again. And Angel recently helped me with my book, Growing Old Sucks, but it doesn't have to, and I really appreciate that. And then 2 years ago, I ran into, I think we were in, you were here in LA, in the LA area, and you introduced me to some people, and they said, if you ever come to Spain, look us up. And we planned a trip, and turns out that we spent the time in Nirja, which is where they live, and it was a great time. I wouldn't have gone into the caves of Nirja, which are phenomenal, had it not been for them. What are you doing now? You've mentioned building bridges. I know that in my business, which is video production and hosting, I've been going out and doing more and more interviews, as many as I can, to enhance my paid videos, because we all need money. So what kind of building bridge techniques have you developed so that people who are used to flying from Dallas, where you are, to Philadelphia to make a sale, they're now doing it through the computer?
Mm-hmm. So the first thing I've done is I kind of tweaked my strategy of what kind of content I share online. That's the first thing. Okay, so I have been more on the side of, personal, immediate, taking action kind of posts, in which the content is very simple, the ideas are very simple, they're very easy to digest graphically and visually, but they always have a message. And I have to tell you, people consistently, my audience consistently appreciates the fact that I'm not talking about complex things like as I used to do before. I'm now talking about more self-help motivational stuff, much more than business related, which I still do. But I think that people need more than ever, because they spend more time online. They need to hear, they need to listen and to read things more closer to their hearts. That's number one. Number two, and you mentioned it very well, it's funny how the stars align themselves. And, Mark and I had not spoken for a while, but, suddenly 3 or 4 different media like yours have picked up on me about conscious leadership. Totally. And actually that wasn't, I didn't have a branding campaign, positioning campaign like in the background, like pitching media, or no, it just came to me. It just came to me because probably what I was posting and when people see my videos and see my interviews and see my podcasts or see my content online, they know what I stand for. So, and again, going to the world of business, because as I said before, I work at the business to business environment or arena. Going to business, I think that business leaders now need to be conscious like never before. They need to hear different messages.
And you, instead of working on their business, are you working with them to better understand themselves so that they can go back and work with their team?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And not only that, that's why I say, I mean, I totally believe in the alignment of stars. If I told you that the business partners that they have today or clients they have today, most of them are also aligned to this vision of helping businesses more on the culture kind of thing, more on the, hey, let's build something together so that we can live together better, and that's extremely important. So it's funny that like I am attracting, there's this inertia coming behind me, which actually is overtaking me. It's overtaking me. That would be the right word to use in that direction. So even my own business partners and clients, they are helping me do the same thing from a different perspective, but they're helping me do the same thing. And third, yes, I mean, I think that business leaders more than ever, even if they've been in similar situations, even if they had contingency plans, they had plan Bs prepared, they still need personal support. And they want to do it with someone that has been there for a long time, understands business, understands international, this kind of thing. So, to be honest, I consider myself a conduit. I'm blessed to know people like you and to be able to drink from your sources, because I mean your show is just amazing, and
well, thank you.
The people that you bring to the table every night is just amazing. Well, so and we need the sources of wisdom more than ever before, Mark.
We do. One of the things that Angel and I did, we worked with Gary Stewart in a constellation healing, and it's you kind of for me or for Angel, we don't know each other's in-depth history, but we would be asked a question and answer it as if we were part of in Angel's history, his maybe family from 2 or 3 or 4 generations back. And Angel was very complimentary, saying I hit the nail on the head. So, and I remember that specifically. Angel, we're out of time. We'll have to do this again. Let's not wait so long. Okay?
You can count on me anytime, Mark. It's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you to your audience. Thank you for being patient to listen to me. And, if I can help them in any way, as they will know where to find me.
Throughout our time together, we have had Angel's website up underneath, and also his LinkedIn and other social media outlets, because he is active, especially in LinkedIn, but he's active in all of them. Thank you very much for joining us here on Late Night Health.
Thank you very much for having me. Talk to you soon.
I look forward to it. I'm Mark Allen. Thanks for watching. We'll be back.